Welcome back to East Texas Now Weekends. We are currently joined by a pretty amazing guest, if I do say so myself, for a pretty amazing event that just recently happened here in East Texas. Congressman Pete Sessions, how are you doing this morning?
Really thankful. Your broadcast is of good news today.
It really is. Now, just jumping right in, communities here in East Texas are really breathing a sigh of relief this weekend. What about yourself, Congressman? Do you have a sense of relief or excitement at the knowledge that these students are back home?
As a father, I remember well when my children were away, either at camp or somewhere else, and there is anxiety. There's anxiety on your mind, but in particular, this came at a point where it took a lot of prayer also. And I think prayer and confidence really helped these students and the 3 adults that were with them. Harmony Hill Baptist Church in Lufkin, Texas has a lot of prayers that they gave on behalf of this group of 12 people that were sequestered. I don't know that they were ever threatened, but they were sequestered as a result of a coup that took place in Niger. So they're not in their home country. There's a circumstance with armed violence, and they gathered together and people worked together. We helped. Reverend Corps was most operationally outstanding. Mayor Mark Hicks of Lufkin was our intermediary with us. We worked together, my team, their team, and we got these 12 wonderful people from Lufkin back home safely.
Now, I want to bring up a point that you made with the prayer that was happening nonstop at that Lufkin church. Now, I don't necessarily want to highlight the prayer, but the community. I mean, that church, Harmony Hill Baptist Church, they told everyone 6 o'clock every night, we will be gathering and we will be holding a prayer and praying for our people to come back home. And if you couldn't even make it, they said just set an alarm and pray wherever you are. And I think that really does show the community that surrounded these students and these adults coming back home and wishing for them to come back home. How do you think that community impact affected how quickly this was able to happen?
Well, in fact, Reverend Corr was very open about seeking my help as the congressman from this section of East Texas. He believed that our faith and confidence that we had in working with the State Department and working with people, excuse me, people of good faith who could gather together on the best interest of this whole group. But prayer has a lot to do with it. Faith. Our faith that the Lord will look after our people, these young people, would give them an experience that they knew was good and right, and the Lord brought them home. So prayer is important, and the faith that we all give to Jesus Christ, our Savior, is a reason why we have a successful story to tell.
Now, I want to walk through your involvement with this operation. When were you first alerted to these missionaries being stuck overseas?
Well, it would be last week. You're asking me now to pinpoint the exact date, but as quickly as we knew, I believe it was Monday. And Monday we became aware that they had a flight which was going to leave, but as a result of this problem that took place, the airport was shut down. I believe they were going to leave originally on Wednesday. So I think it must have been Saturday, Sunday or Monday that we got engaged, went to the State Department, got all the information to make sure we knew what the passports looked like, what the people, who they were, and the State Department really jumped in and did the right thing in this endeavor. And then once we found out that the airport would reopen, it was done through diplomatic channels. The United States was not in a good position, but our friends, the Italians, were. And so they agreed to not only help, but take the responsibility. And then the U.S. Embassy jumped in when they got to Rome.
And when this problem was first brought to you, what was your initial perception of the situation? What was the first thought that ran through your mind?
Well, the thing that runs through your mind is that they could have been taken hostage. And just the knowledge that you have some people that are over trying to do missionary work, in a country that may not, or at least the people who were leading the coup may not have seen them as being people that they would want there. But more importantly, they could have become a bargaining chip. And so that was the most immediate thing we had to do, is make sure they were secure. We were quiet about where they were, and we dealt very quietly through diplomatic channels and let the people on the ground get their work done.
Now, you had to coordinate with multiple U.S. embassies, and you are talking about these diplomatic relations. The majority of us, I mean, our viewers included as well as myself, will never have to wrap our heads around something to this magnitude. Can you walk us through these negotiations? What is the process with bringing people home?
Well, the process is we first had to make a determination that the contact that was being made, that Reverend Core was very open about, that they had limited access on Wi-Fi, so they had limited access on their communication devices. So we had to make sure first that we established that point of contact, and then the point of contacts, then to make sure everybody was safe, everybody was accounted for, and that we could move forward with a plan. And then the rest of it became what the State Department needed to do, and that was on the ground negotiation, that the Italians were in far better position than what we were, and agreed to help out our country. Because while they were concerned about them being children, it's more the relationships that we have with countries around the world, and the Italians were willing to do it and did.
And now, overall, this is a very successful operation, as all of the missionaries, as well as the kids and the 3 adults that were with them, are now back on U.S. soil. They arrived yesterday, I believe. Have you had the opportunity to give them a phone call or talk to them, or do you have any plans to?
I do have plans to. I also myself arrived back in the country around midnight last night, and I'm here in the office in Washington, D.C., with our staff as we are wrapping that up, and I will get a chance to do that. Reverend Core knows that we were very pleased with what happened. The mayor of Lufkin was critical in our communication back and forth. Great confidence, the right thing happened. But yes, I will call them, which is why we really broke this open of what we were trying to do, to make sure that the entire viewing area, not just the Lufkin crowd, but so many other people knew that we were gathered together, working together for a safe outcome. We're lucky it happened, and we're letting those people get back home and decompress, knowing that tomorrow will be a beautiful church service.
Now, I will let you go. Just one more question. If you could take one thing away from this whole successful operation and just the process of working to bring these people back home, back stateside, what would you say that one thing you took away from it was?
Well, the most important thing that not only Reverend Core did, but so many people back in Lufkin, is they were calm. They did not aggravate the situation. They did not tell anyone where they were located. It was a manageable situation, and anytime you deal with something of this magnitude, all it takes is someone to give a peep about a location or where someone is, and it can turn all the events just off of what might be a mistake. So I would say, because they were calm, they dealt with this, they knew that Senator Cornyn, Senator Cruz were advised of this and involved in this also. So they had confidence that we were going to do the right thing. And I want to thank Senator Cornyn and Senator Cruz for their not just assistance and prayers, but their agreement that they would help anytime we needed it.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much, Congressman Sessions. Once again, Congressman Pete Sessions representing Lufkin in this moment specifically, but quite a bit of East Texas, if we're being honest, after the Harmony Hills Baptist Church missionaries were officially brought home. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you giving us this time today.
Thank you.
You have a great rest of your day. Alrighty, now if you'd like to find out more on this story, go ahead and head to KLTV or KTRE.com and make sure that you are checking up on that at all times because we'll be posting more about this story as we continue to find out more information.